Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and as if the area that I lovingly call Calamity Street didn't have enough going on already, I thought I'd add another interesting scene. Yeah, we've got the aliens invading the space building, we've got the Ultra Agents villains attacking the brick Nottingham Post building, including this erupting drill machine, but yeah, why not have some more mayhem going on in this empty space here? Yeah, so absolutely ages ago, I made these three minis in red, white, and blue to represent the minis that are in the film The Italian Job. Now, I prefer the older film, but some people prefer the newer one with Mark Wahlberg in and so on, and Charlize Theron. Ooh. Yeah, well, that wasn't meant to happen, but I thought I'd leave it in because it was quite funny, dropping a mini through a great big hole in between the tables. And that sort of portrays the idea of what I'm trying to do today, and that is an old idea that I think was sent into the channel. I'm not sure if I came up with it or you did, because it was so long ago, but if it was one of you, here is your bedoing. There you go, well done. And it's basically to incorporate two things that I've already got going on in my city, the minis and 3D subway entrances, much like this one that goes down with Jack David's coming out of it there, or the ones that are around Market Square and near the Chinese floating restaurant. There's one there, and the two full-blown ones, of course, here and here that link up with full-blown subway stations with trains whizzing by and all the rest of it. So what I wanted to do was basically have the escape scene of the three minis with them all exiting a 3D subway entrance. So basically I'd have one that wouldn't be falling on the floor, that would be leaping out of the stairway. Another one kind of suspended in midair in sort of action pose, like it was just landing a crazy jump. And the front one leading the way, kind of doing a big swerve onto the road, avoiding the regular police and even the super secret police. So let's get on to the building desk and see what we can come up with. You know, this might be one of the longest projects that I've had sort of incomplete, waiting in the wings to be actioned, with the minis going through the fairground at first and then getting pushed further and further out of the way, always in the knowledge that I was going to use them for this scene, but just not being able to do it. So yeah, it's another great thing that we've unlocked with that new area. And I always preferred the 1969 Italian Job, as I said, because, well, it's got the literal cliffhanger at the end. It seems a lot more fun, and we have the minis sort of rolling around those pipes and things like that. And I just imagine these ones in the underground system of Brick Nottingham are doing exactly the same thing. The 2003 version of the film is quite good, and Charlize Theron's all right as well. But, you know, it's less about the cars in my mind and more about Mark Wahlberg, which I'm less interested in. Anyway, you tell me what you like in the comments section, film-wise, and I'll get on with this build. Right, so we've got our blue one down here for measurement purposes, and this is our standard subway entrance with the three colours of my subway system and these lovely signs. One on the outside so people can see it when they're on the pavement, and one down here so they can see it when they're going down the steps. And that little tile came from set 10669, the Turtle Lair from 2014. And I've been collecting absolutely loads of those. Every time I see them, I get one. It turns out, I was thinking, oh, do I have enough? It turns out I've actually got three too many. So if you can think of somewhere else where I should put a subway station, then maybe I'll be able to do it. But it always helps if you've got a bit of a cavity underneath, obviously, so you can do the 3D element, because that is the most important bit. And usually I do that using loads of tread plate stickers, my favourite type. And I start off with the sort of lighter silvery ones where we're in the light of the sun, and then move gradually through some darker ones to these really dark ones at the bottom. And that gives the sort of optical illusion that we're really going into the depths. And then at the very bottom, I put a dark blue panel. And that is used because, well, it looks a bit more moody and sort of shadowy than actual black. So I prefer that. So that will go down there. We'll have steps all the way down with these, except it doesn't fit. So the first thing we really need to do is make this one a bit atypical and make it wider. But I think that's fine because, you know, in normal subway systems, they have some entrances that are different than one another and they all follow the same style. And then I should be able to do all of the tread plate goodness with just 1x6 ones, or maybe with some sticker surgery, just chopping them kind of in half or chopping the end off and kind of blending two stickers together to make whatever length I want. Right, so let's put all that to one side and get on with making this a little bit wider. And it should be pretty simple, really, shouldn't it? If I remove these 1x1s and these 1x3 tiles, I should be able to just piece this together with some slightly longer plates. And then I can put the sides back on. Which side was that? Want all the stud marks on the inside. You see, that's how pernickety I am. You see there's a little sort of moulding mark on the inside. I try and make sure all of those are out of sight for when it's in the city. So we see the most perfect view we can. So there we go. Don't need that. Need that on there. Then we can get some 1x10 grey plates on the very bottom, and those are the ones that are going to be kind of submerged into the pavement layer with all the tiles on that I put on all around, so you won't be able to see that, but you will be able to see the 3 coloured stripe, of course. So just some 1x2 bricks in there and another 1x4 tile, and then we should be able to put the old thing on the right way around, so the lower one is on the inside, and there we go, a 6 wide entrance. I think that looks well, virtually identical to the 4 wide ones, isn't it? And it fits, although it probably would knock those off when it's jumping out. So cool, we've got that. Now I just need to start making these steps. And another thing I do is change the colour of the bricks as well. So we've got sort of light grey at the top and then dark grey as we go further down, and then even black at the very bottom to accentuate the shadow. So essentially it'll be kind of like that, making a box with all of these going down with box sides as well. So it's kind of an enclosed thing with this stuck in it and all those stickers on. So yeah, let's get started with that. Well, wouldn't you know, after all that elaborate planning, and essentially I don't think I'm going to build it like that at all. Basically, this is what I've come up with, which is a very shallow version of what I was describing before, just with the black bit really, and not many of the steps. And that's because when this is leaping in, well, you can barely see around it. I mean, there's an absolute sliver of gap there and a sliver of gap on that side. But when we've got these walls around it, well, you're not going to be able to see anything in there at all but shadow. So it's just a waste of parts doing all of that elaborate build down there, unless I were to remove the Mini. But I don't think I'm going to be doing that either. So what I figured was I would basically put a hinge piece on the bottom of this, just so I can firmly attach it to that bottom step, like that, have it launching out, then attach this to the top and sides, knocking off the lampposts at every possible opportunity. And then I will have a top step, as per usual, but 6 wide, attached on here. And there is already, our scene. And doesn't it look packed full of motion? Absolutely love that. So yeah, it's just a very shallow version of what I was describing before, but with some plates built into it to act as kind of brackets, front and back, either side of that gap. So essentially it doesn't do what we did before accidentally with the Mini, with everything falling through. It'll be resting on each side with only this bit falling into the gap. And what I've done with this tile was exactly what I described earlier, joining 2 stickers together. So this is a 2x6 light bluish grey tile, and I've got 2 of these stickers that are usually on 2x4s, and cut them very carefully, kind of chopping off the end, which I'll save for another day, and then using my patented hot tea technique, moving them onto this one piece and try to make them absolutely equidistant and try and hide that join as much as possible. Now you can see it from some angles especially, but I think that when this is underneath the car, again, it's going to do me a real favour, and well, it'll look like a tread plate, but can you see the join now? Don't say yes. Anyway, there we go. Very quick build as it turned out. Not anywhere near as elaborate as I thought. And now I've got all sorts of panels and other pieces absolutely free. Right, so let's get this up into the Lego room and installed. Which is going to have to fit exactly with the base plates that are already up there, kind of tessellated in between them, because otherwise we'll have a big sort of gap where there is either no base plate or none of these bracket-sided plates. So yeah, let's see what position we can get it into. That immediately makes me think of the films, so I'm really thinking this is going to be a great addition to Calamity Street, and of course, it fits absolutely perfectly. Yeah, I had to knock that off, as per usual. Yeah, it fits absolutely perfectly into the space. Ho 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 ho, looks great. And I created that gap between the two tables just by pushing this table on the left all the way up to the wall. I kind of figured quite early on when I was measuring the room and sorting out the tables that I'd have a gap to deal with either at that end or this. And I thought, well, if it's at this end, I'll be able to use it to my benefit. So once all of these are pushed up and secured, because we don't want them pushing down like we did earlier, and I'll put some more plates in this gap and this gap. I think it will look really good. We'll also need to position the other two minis so they look like they're speeding through and going all over the place. And probably move the SSP actually, because it doesn't make too much sense if these guys are trying to avoid the police if there they are all along. But then again, maybe they're oppressing somebody in the area. I quite like the fact they're driving away from this whole scene. And one thing I thought I could utilise in this space is that fountain that came from the set 10184 town plan from 1981 that I temporarily did put at the end of the bus station, then removed when we did all of this new road setup, and well, it's exactly the right size to go there. So if I put all the trim around that, I think it might look quite good. Yeah, so let's get positioning the whole scene, filling in the gaps and doing some paving. Should be good. Well, it's been a long time coming, but I think that scene is well worth the wait. Oh, yes, full of action and absolutely unmistakably from the film. Love it, love it, love it. 3 minis in red, white and blue, recoloured builds from the set 75894. They've all got the special sort of red trim windows front and back, which they share in common, which ties them all together. And we've managed to get that nice fountain in the gap as well behind it. You'll notice that there is a slight sort of bump around where we've got the plate under here rather than a base plate, but it's just a nice little trip hazard for minifigures to fall over and end up in a very nearby hospital. So yeah, not too bad and quite subtle. I think that when we've built up this area with some buildings around it, whether it be the botanical garden or whatnot, I don't know, it'll be a lot more hidden, of course. We'll have street lights and other street features, maybe a bench or something like that, hiding it all. But what we will keep is the minis. So this one I've just attached another hinge brick to the bottom of, just so I can position it at a very sort of interesting angle that it's landing on. And this one, that was too much. So basically I've just got the top section of that, you can probably see on the bottom of there, just to raise up one side more than the other, so it's on its final sort of bump coming off the curb. But I think that means that we can position it at an angle that definitely ties it into the scene, because we don't want it looking like just a normal car going by. But yeah, that looks really great. And this area has definitely revitalised my interest in this corner of the city. That new modular, the 1.5er that has just been announced, I guess is probably going to end up going here, which means the turquoise house, which I was going to convert into some sort of commercial enterprise, probably will get bumped off, and we'll move one of these two corners here to make this corner, and then we should have room for 2 more modulars here and loads of stuff along the near side. And I'm still undecided whether I want to do skate parks or universities or botanical gardens, but that botanical gardens definitely has to go somewhere. And now I've liberated 2 of these 8x16 base plates, so that's 2 things I don't need as well. But yeah, do tell me what you think of that. But I'm very happy with it, despite the incredibly long wait for it. Yeah, very good. And you can't see any of that detail that I planned that I didn't end up putting in at all. And the fact that it's 6 wide as well doesn't detract from the rest of the city. And it also means that I've actually linked up my entire subway system with this side of the city without having to do a single thing with trains or track. So that's another bonus. Brilliant. Calamity Street is filling up. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, it will be Wednesday, so I'm going to try and squeeze in a brick haul. Still very busy. And then on Friday, I don't know what we'll do in the city, but if it's anything like this, it'll look awesome. So until then, see you. Yeah, you're only supposed to blow the doors off.